What's up, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to this POV review by Autobahn. My name is Max, and today we are taking a look at the all-new Hyper GT saloon by Lotus. This is the EMEYA, and of course we took the most powerful one, the EMEYA R. This is a 919 horsepower super saloon, and it is here to challenge the likes of Tesla Model S Plaid, Lucid Air, and Porsche Taycan Turbo and Turbo S, and of course the Audi RS e-tron GT. So it is a little bit bigger than most of those cars. It's a bit more Panamera size than Taycan size, but still, you know, this is supposed to be a sporty car. It is a Lotus after all, so yeah, I'm really curious to see and feel what this thing is like. Today I'm going to show you around it. We'll take a look at the spec, and then we'll take it for a drive towards the Autobahn for an Autobahn blast. So we'll talk a bit about the design, because it is very, you know, modern day Lotus. There's a lot going on, a lot of lines, a lot of shapes, a lot of different lights as well. We've got a double DRL here at the top with the headlights hiding underneath here. And then this car in this spec, you know, this has been spec'd to the brim. So this is solar yellow, and then we've got the carbon exterior pack. So you've got carbon in the bumper here, down there, little side splitter there. And from the front, I think it's very, I don't know if it's pretty per se, but it definitely looks very imposing. It's very wide. It's 2 meters wide. It's a very wide front end. We've got carbon fiber there on the bonnet as well, which is nice. And then we've got these upgrade 21-inch wheels. For the EMEYA R you already get 21s, but these are different wheels. And then you can also upgrade to a 22-inch wheel with carbon fiber, but I think 21 is better for comfort and also for a little bit of extra grip, because you have a bit more wall. So you have these P0R tires, a 265 at the front, and then behind the wheels we've got the Lotus carbon ceramic brakes. Massive disc. This is, I think, a Brembo disc, Brembo SGL carbon. It's very large, and it is here because this is a very fast car and it weighs 2,590 kilos, so you need proper stopping power. So I'm really happy that Lotus decided to put these ceramics on here as well. You can have them on the Elettra. You don't see it that often, but I think if you want to do some proper driving, you need them. Air suspension as well as standard, and the R also gets the dynamic handling package, which means you have active anti-roll bars and rear wheel steering. More carbon here with side cameras. What's that? I don't know what that is. Yeah, then we've got the cameras, which are also carbon fiber. This is an optional extra. Do not do this under any circumstance. Do not go for these. Save yourself the money. Don't do this. It does not work. It's horrible. It doesn't work in any car I've driven. It's not just Lotus. It's just the system does not work. You're not able to estimate the distance properly, especially on highways, and even more on the Autobahn, of course, where the speed differences are big. It's so difficult to gauge the speed difference, and it's just impossible to properly see. So don't do that. Also, if you have like just a glance at the mirror, you can immediately see in like a tenth of a second, you know, your situation. With this, you're just constantly looking and re-looking, because you want to be certain, because it feels so uncertain, and it's just not great for safety. So don't do that. We do have some 305 rear section tires, so massive rubber here. At the rear we've got a carbon fiber diffuser at the rear as well, little carbon fiber spoiler, big LED light bar, and then we have some active aero. So this car has the optional active aero pack, and you get this flap in the diffuser that opens. I actually have some footage of that, so I'll show you guys that. And then you also get a little like splitter here that pops down, which is over here. I think this is it, yeah. So these 3 flaps go down for some extra downforce. We also have a little frunk, and when I say little, I mean like properly little, but it is perfect for charging cables or one camera bag. Hey, dragonflies. So yeah, this is, you know, for charging cable, perfectly fine. Battery location in Chinese. They try to really like throw a lot of Lotus badges at you because they want you to think that you're driving a Lotus, but you know, it's actually a Geely. Nothing wrong with that. It's just, don't expect a Lotus when you buy a Lotus these days. And I don't think it's fair to expect that as well. So I don't, everyone is always complaining about, oh, Lotus is not that light anymore. Yeah, no, it's not really a Lotus. It's just something completely different. The Emeyya, of course, is still kind of a proper Lotus, but this is not. This is a completely different thing. So, luggage space, a bit down here for some extra storage. This is not that big. It is a liftback, as you can see, so it's more like an Audi A7 or Porsche Panamera. And you have this like cover, but as you can see, it is quite shallow. So of course, a lot of electric motors and battery packs and stuff happening underneath. So you see that a lot with these electric cars, that luggage space is not that big, but it's fine, I would say. It's not bad. And then let's check out rear space, rear seat space, because this is not bad. Leg room is really good. Just the issue is that the floor is very high and this is too low. So as you can see, it's just, yeah, it's not super comfortable. Also, you need to raise the seat here. Headroom is not bad, I would say, for a car with such a sloping roofline. Beautiful carbon here and some lovely trim. It's a beautiful design. And look at all this Alcantara here, also very nice. Soft leather as well. This is like Napa leather. Little storage here. So yeah, it's not super comfy, mainly because the floor is too high, but it's not bad either. And we have carbon fiber roof as well, which is optional. You can also get a glass roof, and you can also have like a roof that you can tint in different stages. What's up, neighbor? So let's have a look in here, because we've got a beautiful interior. I really like it. It is, well, I think BMW, Porsche, Mercedes, Audi, they need to look at this, because at this price point, as it starts at like 109,000 euros in the Netherlands. The pricing might be different where you are, but the difference shouldn't be that big. 109,000 euros, and it goes all the way up to 155 for this R version. But if you look at pricing, 109, that is not bad for a car that feels this luxurious, and materials are super nice. I mean, BMW has been going downhill the last few years, but this is all super nice. Lovely leather, beautiful Alcantara. Look at that speaker design. This is a KEF system. Almost has like a turbo turbine in there. 800 watt 15 speaker system, really good. But I mean, carbon fiber here. This trim is kind of nice as well. Lovely storage bin, and then these cup holders with a little bit of leather as well, which is a nice touch, and you can hide them. Alcantara phone holder here with a wireless charge pad. Carbon here, lovely switch gear. It all feels like, it feels good. It honestly, it feels very premium. And I like it. I really like it. Like 15-inch display here. The system is not great. It looks beautiful and it responds really well. It's like, you know, this is as good as it gets. It's a shame that you don't get your spec car here. I think that might be a cool update down the road, because that would be really nice that you can see your own car. But the system itself, everything is in here. But everything is in here apart from 2 physical climate buttons here. Everything else you need to do in there, and it does take some getting used to, but it's not bad. It's just a little bit confusing sometimes, and it's just a little bit like thrown on a pile and then just, you know, figure it out, find your way, which is not great, but it looks beautiful, it responds really well, and yeah, it's just it's pretty damn impressive. I've got some ambient lighting as well. So yeah, this is really good. All your settings are in here, so I think you just spend a couple days and you should be able to find your way around. You also get a little display there. It's like a sliver display, really narrow, and then you have a passenger display as well, but this is... Ik heb nog een aanwijzing voor je. But this is, I think, just for the audio. So that's like classic co-driver task, is just figure out the music. So I quite like that. Beautiful seats as well. Lovely leather, logo there, soft headrest. It's just the seating position is too high. It's weird. I've immediately felt like, oh, I need to get that seat down. But it's not. Yeah, this is it. So that's not great. Steering wheel, Alcantara, carbon fiber. These buttons again on the steering wheel, they feel great. They're like, you need to like properly push them to engage them, which is great. I mean, I feel like this is not that hard. Like Lotus got it on the interior part. I think a lot of brands should take a look at this. We've got drive mode here on the pedal, so you have a top and a bottom pedal. It's a two pedal situation, so you can toggle down and up through the driving modes. I'll tell you more about that later. And then we've got the regeneration for the brakes here, so plus and minus, which is also nice. You want that to be accessible. Yeah, cameras, so you can hit that and then you can move it around, but it just doesn't work. It's a good system. It's very sharp and it all works really well. I mean, response is good. It does not work. It does not work. I cannot say it enough. Please stop doing this, brands. It does not work. Yeah, okay, so driving modes. So this is range mode, you know, maximum range, and you have tour, which is most comfortable, like highway setting. Then you've got sport, a little bit more sporty, individual, you know, configure everything. And then track mode is the most aggressive one, with a separate setting for the traction control. So you can go from high to low, but then you can also, there's ESC, you can turn that off altogether as well. And of course we can also operate the spoiler at the rear. So let me just show you that. So if you want to put that thing up, you can hit that button and you can see the spoiler popping up, and then we can have a look at it. There it is. So this pops up, I think, at 130 kilometers an hour, but it's quite high. And then I think this is like a LiDAR sensor, and one pops out of the roof as well here when you're driving. I do have one other issue. The sloping roofline and the small rear window mean that you don't really have a good view out at the rear. So your rear view mirror basically like cuts off, the roof cuts off half the car. And then if you combine that with the useless camera mirror system, it's not a great feeling, because you feel like you have to double check everything, as I said. Okay, let's head out for a drive. We have track mode engaged and ESC is off. What else do we need to do? Nothing. So click that to go to drive, and then the car is ready to go. So rear wheel steering is very pronounced. And also it sends a lot of power to the rear, because you have two electric motors at the rear in the arm. So as you can see, you can really like throw it around, slide it around. It wants to go. It's like a very weird and aggressive feeling, which is amazing. Really, it's amazing. It takes a bit of getting used to, because it's kind of wild, and I love that. I really love that. I did a 0 to 100 measurement. It's supposed to do 2.8 seconds. I did 2.87 or something, so definitely it will do that. But I just left two freaking big black lines on the road. It was just spinning its wheels, and I still did a 2.9 doing that. So I just feel like there was someone at Lotus who said, okay, let's just really dial everything up to 11 in track mode, and you can turn off ESC, you can properly slide it. I mean, you need to be firm. It kind of feels like the car wants to feel like, okay, you really want to do this, and then it actually does. It's pretty amazing. It's just that power delivery and that rear wheel steering. When I hit the throttle, sometimes you're just all over the place. You're just weaving. And yeah, I think that is a good thing, honestly. So sound check. Nothing. Great. We don't need any sound. We're not 11. I like this. I properly like this car. I also like the brake pedal feel. These ceramic brakes, they work really well, and I read somewhere that the brake pedal was too aggressive. I don't agree. Oh, now it's not letting me do that. See, I was like full throttle. It wouldn't let me slide. So I don't know. It just needs to feel like, yeah, you can have this one, right? And I like that. So let's find out if we can still get close to the top speed. Oh, we just passed my my like burnout marks. I hope you guys were able to see that. I'm not sure, but maybe I'll find them on the video. So, oh yeah, it's definitely down on power now. Okay, that's a shame, but we'll see if we can still get close to the top speed of 256 kilometers an hour. So we've got a 102 kilowatt hour battery pack, which is the same for all the EMEYAs, full throttle. And then we have a 3-motor setup in this with 919 horsepower and 985 newton meters of torque. Really fast charging as well. Okay, so that's the top speed. That was pretty quick. Yeah, it's a shame that you don't get to do more, because I think the car could easily do 300 kilometers an hour, and you can do it with the Tesla Model S Plaid as well, so why not with this one? I think it should be able to do it. And that kind of brings me to the thing that the conclusion that I always end up at with electric performance cars. Yes, it's fun to do a couple times, you know, the big launches, the accelerations, it's fun, but WLTP range for the EMEYA R is up to 485 kilometers. If you go back a step and you take the EMEYA or the EMEYA S, it's 610. So it's like 130 kilometers more, and it still has like 610 horsepower. And it does 0 to 100, 4.2 seconds, top speed 250. I feel like the EMEYA R, it's not enough. Yes, it's a fast car. It's nice to drive, even though it feels quite heavy most of the time. But I think, yeah, it just doesn't make sense. It's not worth the premium. So performance-wise, it is, you know, it's a very quick car. 100 to 200, 5.3 seconds. It is very quick. It's almost as quick as a new Taycan Turbo S. So it is very impressive. It's just not worth the premium. It's 200,000 euros the way, you know, the way it's been spec'd here. 200,000 euros. And even though I do feel like the interior is nicer than a Porsche Taycan or an Audi or a BMW, I feel like, yeah, you just have to get that EMEYA S, because you can end up at 140, 150,000 euros with a well-spec'd EMEYA. And you can have all those nice things. You can have the handling package, you can have the active aero, you can have the beautiful wheels with the carbon, you can have the carbon ceramic brakes. It is more than enough, the EMEYA S, with 610 horsepower, 0 to 100, 4.2 seconds, 250 kilometers an hour top speed. We drove an i5 M60 recently that was 140,000 euros. I mean, look at this. How much nicer is this if you compare it to an i5? So yeah, Lotus are definitely onto something. So all in all, quite an impressive car with really good specs. I forgot to mention, you can charge really quickly. It's limited at 350 kilowatts here, but I think they did like 440 kilowatts of charging already in China, and it should easily do like 400 kilowatts. So that means that you go from 10 to 80% in 14 minutes or something like that, or I don't know, it's 18 minutes I think here, so that's really quick. So that's it for this review. Hope you enjoyed it. You can subscribe by clicking the big button in the middle. You can also check out this video or this playlist. See you at the next one. Bye.